Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's session. As you know, daily we are commemorating various events. Today, we have one of the biggest celebrations across the world. Which is very ancient and traditional. And especially it is very much related to the especially it is very much related to the nature. You know, we are all dependent on the nature, and without nature, we cannot survive. Our survival itself is at stake without nature. And this is the biggest and largest festival where we express our gratitude to the nature, especially the sun god, where without, we can't imagine life without sun. So this festival is expression of gratitude towards the sun god and the nature, irrespective of one's religion. First, we are human beings. Before that, we are species, one among the species. Religion cannot thrive without human beings, but human beings can always thrive without a religion. So, being said that fact, you know, religions cannot thrive or, you know, prosper without human beings. So first we have to remember, no matter whether you are religious or not religious, firstly, we have to acknowledge and we have to accept that we are part of 1 billion species, and we have to acknowledge and express our gratitude to all the species, because we are also part of the ecosystem, and every species has its unique existence and function to perform in the ecosystem. In a similar way, next to being one among the species, next we are human beings with higher intellectual. that means that we have a greater responsibility than all other living beings and non-beings on the planet to take care of the planet. So we are having the obligation, or we are accountable, we are answerable, we are responsible for upkeeping the health and wealth of the planet. So in this process, to upkeep the interest and express our gratitude to our nature in various ways and imbibe divinity into our elements, various elements of nature, and also at the same time to protect species, various species. Since ages, our ancestors have imbibed divinity into each and every aspect on the planet. That's where our rich ancient cultures and traditions, which are even valid today, are because and are surviving and thriving is because of such rich cultures and traditions. But the present education system does not provide any scope for these cultures and traditions. That's why man has become insane and has become the notorious criminal on the planet with such useless education, unfortunately being imparted by the educational institutions across the world. Today, in the name of development, we are creating a world which is more harmful, and we are creating, we being one of the species of the planet, have been today become a threat to the entire planet, and most of the species are getting extinct, have become endangered, and are on the endangered list soon. So with this, what do we understand? So we are not expressing our gratitude. We have become very selfish. We have become, very mean. And whether we accept it or not, leave it, definitely we will not accept it in the very first place. That's why we call ourselves as notorious criminals. We do not have that courage also to accept that we are creating such a harm to the planet. So that is the very first thing, that we are no less than, I think we need to devise a new word in the dictionary, which we cannot address a better word without such a addressing with that a word. So similarly, why we are talking about this is, what we are doing, is it really contributing to the planet? Is what it is really contributing to the society or the community at large? We have to rethink about all these practices which we are doing, whether these present cultures are contributing to the sustainability, whether the present religions or the belief systems are really helping to achieve, conserve, protect our nature and resources. So the new trend that is happening, more of materialistic things, more of self-centerism, which is making people insane. And the present religions are also in such a manner, unfortunately, because they have their own agendas to promote, even at the cost of nature, even at the cost of lives of the various species on the planet. But it is up to you, up to me, up to all of us to think what is right or wrong, because we all are responsible for our actions, for our thoughts, for our doings, whether it is right or not, whether it is good or bad. We have higher intellect, and everyone is responsible and everyone is accountable. Why do you think everyone has, in spite of being, having equal opportunities, why so many differences exist. That is nothing but because of our karma, our good doings and bad doings. Because everyone is born equally, everyone, we all have two legs, two hands, two eyes, two ears, and one nose. Everyone has equal characteristics or specifications or organs every human being has. The major difference, the broad difference we have is only male and female. Apart from that, all males have similar build and everything, and all females have similar build, except the reproductive organs, and rest all are same. But why we find so many differences? Everyone has equal opportunity to study or to pursue their interest, hobbies, professions. But why we choose? Why we are forced to choose, at least? Why we choose voluntarily, by chance or by choice? There are various differences, because no matter whether we agree or not, we are destined. Our destiny has been set based on our karmic records. Whether we believe or not, that's a different thing, because I always keep saying, science is just in infancy, and there are many questions or queries or clarifications which are, or there are many things that are beyond the scope of science. So science cannot give all the answers. So it has to accept its, limitations. Though it has answered many queries, which has created more threats rather than solutions. Today, the modern science and technologies we can appreciate, but the way it is taking us is towards destruction. Can we just give any one note that has science and technology, modern science and technology has given, which has, created a good thing on the planet? It's very hard to say, that this has given this benefit. Especially, the things have becoming smart, materials have become smart, and humans have become lazy and dumb. So that invited a lot of diseases, disorders today. And we all are suffering, we all are paying. Today, many people are dying in between 20 and 40. We have asthma, we have diabetes, we have cardiac related, diseases and strokes, heart attack, whatnot. Of course, longevity has increased, but what to do with that longevity? People, the more longer you live, the more suffering you take. And, that has a different impact also. See, one such impact is the longer you live, the more work hours and the more life you have, and the present more unemployment, because again, this is one perspective. See, it doesn't mean that we should not live longer, but you can see the various perspectives that are impacting. So now the lifespan has increased, but again, the burden has increased. So not everyone who is in the higher age or on the higher side of the age are healthy. There is nothing wrong living longer time, but there should be a purpose of life which can be achieved. And as long as you are healthy in the self, that doesn't mean you don't have any disability or handicap or anything like that, similar to that. But as long as you are productive, you are constructive, and you're optimistic and contributing, whether it may be materialistically or spiritually. There are many sages, spiritual, who are still now, they're living thousands and thousands of years. But what they are doing, they are contributing, they are doing their rituals, they are doing their practice, so that the world is always in peace. Of course, as we all have good and bad, there is always that kind of direct and indirect war that is going on between good and bad, evil and good, and all these things are happening. We can see because now in this age of Kali Yuga, we don't have anything like good or bad in a single element. We within ourselves have all these elements imbibed in us, like good and bad is within ourselves. We can see we are sometimes good, we are sometimes bad, we are sometimes evil also. So there is everything is imbibed within ourselves. The way, the intent for every act or every thought, that makes us good or bad. Again, that differs from context. Again, that differs from context to context, person to person, situation to situation, circumstance to circumstance. And for us, it is different. For our people, it is different. And for others, it is different. So it's all, perspectives. And it all keeps changing when we are moving from our inner circle to outer circle as we are moving. So this is all a complex subject to be understood. But at the same time, what I am trying to say is, it's all a perspective, how we are looking at. And based on that, if we think that we are higher intellectuals and we are superior than other species on the planet, then we are responsible for protecting, conserving the species, other species on the planet. But are we really doing it? Whether today we are talking about science, which is just 203 years old, modern science, and whether it is able to give answers or where it stands today, the entire planet, which is, surviving since billions and millions of years, is now facing a global threat. So what will happen in next 100 years? No one can tell. And today, we are standing at the verge of destruction. Disasters have become a norm. Why all these things are happening? We need to reflect upon ourselves. What might be the causes? Because the very first thing is we are lacking gratitude. No matter we give 24/7, 365 days, we speak about gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. But we are not practicing gratitude. Gratitude towards whom? And how we have to express our gratitude. Gratitude to everything on the planet, every being on the planet, every non-being on the planet. Without expressing our gratitude, our day goes waste. Every minute, every second, we should express our gratitude to the nature. That is what these festivals, especially these commemorations of various festivals, especially this Makar Sankranti or Sankranti or the Pongal, whatever name it is celebrated across the world, it is the greatest festival that provides us an opportunity, and everyone, in fact, to express our gratitude to the sun or the source of energy from where we get our heat and life and light and various other ingredients which are necessary for our life and survival. So no matter which religion you belong to, that doesn't matter, because religion came long after human beings have existed. So religions keep evolving, they keep disappearing. So as long as the human beings are there, this process will carry on and they keep dominating with each other. But keep aside religion, because religion can survive or not, but human beings are surviving without religion. So that's why even we all are one. So religions keep dividing us, or caste keep dividing us, or race keep dividing us. These all are created by humans, and they will continue to thrive as long as we keep supporting them. But it's okay, people have different preferences, different likes and different dislikes. But at the end of the day, what we need to see is how they are contributing to our development, our community development, and our nation development, and our planet development at large. Today we are talking about sustainable development. Is this development really sustainable? If sustainable, how long? And what we can do for making it sustainable? The only way is go back to ancient knowledge systems, where values, ethics, morals are considered in every aspect of life, in every aspect of trade, every aspect of economy. We care for each other, we express gratitude to each other. That's how we prevent exploitation, we prevent abuse, we respect, we give respect, we care for them, we love for them, we like for them. So these festivals especially are meant for that. Often we think what we have to do with this festival, but festivals are unique opportunities where we can express our gratitude to our ancestors, to our nature in various forms. And especially this festival is festival which is dedicated to the nature, which is dedicated to the cattle, which is dedicated to animals, and which is dedicated to Mother Earth, which is dedicated to agriculture and various aspects. Like it is a food festival, it is a kite festival, it is cattle festival, it is animal festival, it is harvest festival. You name it, everything is imbibed in it. The life source of survival, the purpose of life is imbibed into the festivals. That's why it is very important. Today, we are seeing, or nowadays we celebrate every day, right? With one or other commemoration. Even simple things also we are commemorating. But we are in the process. There is nothing wrong creating new days or creating new celebrations, new holidays, new commemorations. But what happens at the end of the day is we should not forget our own cultures and traditions, because they have been time tested and they have been coming from ages, since ages. This provides us wonderful opportunity to look back where we have come from, how we have evolved over the ages, and where we have to go, and if not, where we are going to end. So to understand all these concepts, it is very much important to know and follow our rich cultures and traditions. And we need to understand nowadays the major problem is, first of all, we are not aware of these traditions, cultures and traditions. And if we also know that there are certain traditions and cultures and practices, we don't know the reason, we don't know the science and logic behind it. That makes us more negligent towards them, so that we often forget them or neglect them, or uh, you know make them redundant because of lack of knowledge, because of lack of ignorance. So what we can do is to gain knowledge about them and keep practicing them, and adapt to the modern infrastructure and to the modern society, because things have been evolved and things have been changing. But we as a human being, as a nature of human being, we did not change. But because of the interaction with the environment, we are changing. We are changing in terms of the food we eat, because we are the food we eat. We are what we think. We are what we do. So based on that, we are changing. So the change is constant, but the kind of change that is happening is more important. So on this festival occasion, why we are talking about all this is we have to reflect on ourselves, and let, after reflection or through the process of reflection, be good to everyone and express gratitude every moment of our life to the Almighty and to the nature and to our family, to our community, and to all who are contributing to us. So this festival and every festival provides an opportunity to express our gratitude. So let's this farmers festival, food festival, animal festival, cattle festival, or nature festival, or kite festival, harvest festival, or whatever name you call it, it provides us an opportunity for bringing together everyone, and an opportunity for getting together for joy, happiness, and celebrations, and to embrace the togetherness, and promote caring, sharing for each other, and connecting back to our own cultures, traditions, where we express our gratitude and appreciate them, and acknowledge the contributions they have done for protection, conservation of various species on the planet, and where it has been a truly sustainable model of development since millions and billions of years. But now we have seen the kind of development that is going on, or that has been taken up, was never a sustainable model. And moreover, we completely neglected our ancient knowledge, because of which we had to rely on various technologies and sciences, which has created situation which is prevalent today, which has created a lot of diseases, disorders, and destructions. So let's realize that the better, the sooner we realize this, the better, the sooner the world starts changing. We start changing. That means coming days are better days, healthier days, and wealthier days. So the first step is to realize, accept, acknowledge. Then the process automatically starts, and we come on track, and things start changing and evolving, where we can move towards sustainability. So let's celebrate, thank, and express our gratitude towards our farmers, towards our rural population, who are providing food for all of us, to all living beings on the planet, and for their selfless sacrifice and service for all, for well-being of entire planet. So this gives an opportunity for us to look back about our own cultures and traditions. Do you know, especially this festival, Sankranti, is a 5-day festival, and today is the first day of the 5 days festival, where it is known as Bogi, where we wake up early and start our day with Bogi fire. It is Bogi bonfire, and the other ritual is involving children and family members and neighbors community gathering at the bonfire early morning, and by singing, dancing, and praising of the God, and also cleansing our houses and decorating them with various artwork like rangoli, using various ingredients, and decorate our homes with beautiful colors and patterns with artwork. Of course, there are various, legends or scriptures that gives us account of festivals associated with various milestones that has happened in the past. Like it is also associated with divine marriage of Goda Devi with Sri Ranganatha Swami. And this day also marks the end of Dhanurmasam. And even Lord Vishnu, Sri Vishnu Puja is also considered highly auspicious. And it is also the favorite day for Lord Indra. And in some places, along with God, God as sun god and various other gods, even Indra god is also worshipped. And there is also a ritual where children are involved in the rituals, and people bless them, bless the children in our households. For better health and prosperity of the children through the process of ritual. So apart from all these, traditional, ancient, and spiritual benefits, we have good scientific reasons behind this. And of course, as already we are mentioning, but due to availability of various, and the kind of facilities, infrastructures have changed, maybe still for certain places or certain situations, it may not be more relevant, but still they are very much scientific. Like if you take Gobemma, which is made of cow dung or cattle dung, and turmeric creates a worm-free environment in the house. So even in cities also, we see there are a lot of mosquitoes and various insects. Even cities also it is visible, because species are everywhere. Cities are not and cities are very prone to diseases and illness, though we have better facilities. But again, the crowded population that makes it more vulnerable. So though we have all these pesticides, insecticides and all these things at place, but they are not 100% harmless. Even everything we use, from the dishwasher soap or from the soap we use, everything is made up of chemicals, and they are doing some kind of harm to us. So at least these festivals provide us an opportunity where we can use organic, natural substances, uh, and we can embrace them. As we said, this cattle dung, especially cow dung, is used to make these gubemmas uh, with turmeric and with rice powder and other ingredients like flowers and other various other things, which create a warm, free environment in house and around the house. And this bonfire, also known as Bogi Mantalu, which is a burning of agriculture waste and domestic waste. Not only clears the waste, but also makes the fields free from harmful insects and worms. And as this is winter season, and it also uh, used as to keep warmth in and around houses, and also various benefits associated with it. And this is natural way, organic way. There are no chemicals used, no preservatives, no fertilizers used. And this is a season where we get our harvest from fields. So a lot of abundance is there, happiness is there, prosperity is there, and it also provides an opportunity to express our gratitude, happiness by donating, distributing, or preparing various food items or preparations, and share with our friends, relatives, and within our family members. It's a gathering where we all come together, and with the new harvest that has come reach our house, with the new harvest we prepare a new dishes, and we share among and cherish the taste, smell, aroma, and also health benefits of having them together. This also provides a wonderful opportunity for a family get together. And this also commemorates the transition from winter to summer, as well as the forthcoming winter crop harvest, as we have already mentioned. So all over the world, people participate in the festivities. And one more important aspect which everyone appreciates and engages is in kite flying. These kites are very much linked with the celebration that presents the God spirits awakening from their winter slumber. We can see, simple kites made of lightweight, colorful paper, and that too eco-friendly, with bamboo frames, which are most frequent. So from traditional kites, nowadays we are getting, these non-eco-friendly kites with plastic paper and a lot of things. Kindly avoid all those things. Unfortunately, we have deviated ourselves because our ancient practices are very much nature friendly, eco friendly. But because of our, different kind of experiments and thought process, we, in the process of innovation, we have brought out so, non-eco friendly or nature friendly materials into the process, that the very purpose of celebrating or having those is lost, because we are creating more trash and trash. Recently we have seen Christmas, how much plastic trees and how much of plastic packaging waste has generated across the world. Now if we celebrate festivals in such a manner, then the own purpose of celebrating the festival is lost. In fact, by celebrating such festivals or festivals in such a manner, we are creating more disasters. We are creating more threats to the challenge, more challenges, not only to ourselves, to the fellow species, fellow beings, and also to the entire planet. So we need to go back to our traditional practices, ancient, at least understand the science, why they are still used. And it is an opportunity to come together, and even across the world, this kite festival is being organized in a different, and even in India also, international kite festival is being organized at various places. And, across the world, people are coming, and even that has become a passion and also a profession also. So people enjoy flying kites, and it is an opportunity of exploring fun, enjoyment. And nowadays, especially a caution here, don't use these Chinese, the kind of uh, threads for flying. It is very harmful, not only to our hands, our skin, but also to the birds. Actually, our threads, which we use for flying, should be purely natural, made of cotton. What happens when we use nylon threads or plastic or fiber threads? They get stuck on the trees and poles and everywhere. It first of all, it creates a threat to the ecosystem, because if they get, especially when we see these on electrical poles, it can bind the various polarities of supply lines. Like we all know, we have three lines that goes on this earth, that is main positive charge and negative neutral line, and also the various other lines. So what happens when a thread is struck to the poles or the wires? When we try to remove, or when we try to take back, it can bind the wires together, and it can cause a lot of electrical hazards and accidents. So while using these threads also, make sure we are using organic and cotton thread, so that it can be removed easily. So what happens if the same thing, a nylon thread, stuck to your head? It can kill you if it is struck to your neck. So in a similar way, various birds are getting killed because they are getting stuck in this, uh, puzzle of these threads. So kindly go back and use same practices, or which are eco-friendly and natural way of celebrating festivals. Don't use this plastic. And nowadays we are getting different, what we call manjas, or this coated or fiber kind of threads. Don't use them, because it kills various birds. We have no right to kill any species on the planet, as we cannot give life to any planet. We do not have any right to kill any species on the planet. So we should not just imagine if a bird neck is struck. Imagine as if you are in the place of bird, and you are struggling. Your legs, hands, wings are tied together, and you are struggling, and you just die uh, in the process, hours together, days together. How horrible it is. So there is nothing wrong to celebrate. Flying kites, you fly kites. No one is saying no, not to fly kites, but use eco-friendly, nature-friendly, and don't use this plastic or nylon threads or any other thing. You use paper flights, you use natural bamboo stick flights, because they are decomposable, And if something such thing happens also, it can be destroyed easily, so that other things don't get affected. So always these festivals, rituals, practices are nature friendly, eco friendly. But what we have done in the process, process of creativity or innovation, we we have we tried to include our craziness into that, and we created more issues out of that. So simple kites are always advisable, with natural threads. To have this kite flying game, and the real joy is flying them. And if you want to play a game also, like trying to cut one another's strings and knock down their kites during festival, and that is also should be constructive, positive, having with a game spirit. And we have also illuminated kites now, uh, to fill the skies. And again, these are also a kind of pollution that creates, of course. So try to avoid this, because it was never part of our culture. And of course, it is undoubtedly an unforgettable experience that we will all remember uh, for rest of our life. But uh, you know, be environment cautious. So even with leaves also we can make lights, but you need a skill for that. But you can use papers instead of that. And as already mentioned, with lot of festives, it is a very good opportunity to express our gratitude. So there are a lot of things mythological, what we call, it's not mythological. Mythology doesn't exist, in fact, because all are facts. Mythology is something which can be illusionary also. But maybe, because of this English also, the foreign language, we are using words which can be easily misinterpreted by the English community or the English speaking community, because we don't use appropriate word, because English dictionary itself doesn't have many appropriate words. They have to create more words to convey the exact meaning of what we want to convey. So that lack of vocabulary or lack of words prevent the exact, the communication of conveying the exact meaning. So once again, we wish you all happy Pongal or happy Sankranti, happy Lori, and whatever name it is being celebrated. So I'm not getting into much detail of explaining various legends associated with it. Just being very practical, addressing most of the practical issues. Would like to say that celebrate festivals, but celebrate in a nature-friendly, eco-friendly manner. And especially these festivals are, not at all religion specific. Religion has their own agenda set. And if we are truly intellectual, then we are born secular. There is nothing secular also. Like Hinduism evolved after, other religions want to differentiate or discriminate. Similarly, there is nothing like secularism as such, and no country except India has secularism. So that is also a different concept that has been created by these religions only. These were people who created these religions. So we all have been born casteless, religionless. We all are human beings with spiritual being inside. So let's all celebrate, commemorate each and every festival. Then only we are a truly human being. Somehow we are not a true human being because of religions and caste, where other things are keeping dividing us. So let's celebrate, embrace, join together for celebration in sharing, caring, loving each other. And apart from this, we have various other commemorations today. Today is World Logic Day, and it is proclaimed on November 26, 2019 by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, in short UNESCO, to bring the intellectual history, practical implications and the conceptual significance of logic to the attention of science communities as well as the general public. So the International Day was conceptualized by the Logica Universalis Association, LUA, and celebrated for the first time on January 14, 2019, before the official proclamation. That's how, though the holiday was proclaimed on November 26th, it is observed every year on January 14th. So we have different types of logic. Hope everyone is aware of what is logic. And we have different types of logic, like informal logic, formal logic, symbolic logic, mathematical logic. In the West, Aristotle is considered to be father of the Western logic, as he was first to develop a formal system of reasoning. In East, we have different types of logic. And even in India, which is the oldest civilization, has its own knowledge system. Interestingly, the headquarters of the Logica Universalis Association, LUA, is on the Moon Bowl crater. And on this day, think logically by applying logic to your daily activities. Use logic in making decisions and forming correct conclusions. And logic is an interesting discipline too, capable of improving the mind's capacity. There's so much to learn. Increase your knowledge base by learning about different kinds of logic and how they affect our world and ourselves. And in the West, we have various philosophers who have promoted various contributors to this phenomenon or concept. Like Aristotle, born in 384 BC, was one of the greatest philosophers that ever lived in the West. And Gottlob Frege was German logician, philosopher, and mathematician, also known as father of analytic philosophy in the West. And Bertrand Russell was a prominent British logician, philosopher, and social critic. And Kurt Gödel is also considered one of the prominent logicians in this history, best known for his contributions to scientific and philosophical thinking in the 20th century. Alfred Tarski is a Polish American logician and mathematician, best remembered for his contributions to abstract algebra, geometry, measure theory, mathematical logic, set theory, and analytical philosophy, and many more in the West. So, and logic is a vital in problem solving. Applying logical thinking to difficult situations helps a person to arrive at sound solutions. Logic also aids people in making decisions when faced with tough choices. Logic is also an essential tool for choosing the right path. Logic is useful in performing persuasive and precise arguments. This aids us in communicating our ideas effectively and winning others to our points of view. So happy World Logic Day. And today is also Orthodox New Year Day. That is where, Jan which is celebrated on January 14th and is marked as January 1st in Julian calendar, which was used before Gregorian calendar based on Orthodox faith. So this is also in the West, basically, especially with the Christian communities. The services usually held with a festive dinner, music, dancing, and it is a traditional holiday where people spend time with their families, involve serious meditation about personal New Year resolutions. And although it is important to Orthodox believers, celebrated by Orthodox churches across the world, in Russia, Serbia, and other Eastern European countries, because this all Julian, Roman calendar, Gregorian calendar, all have come from them only. So the Julian calendar was initiated by Julius Caesar in 46 BC as a way to change the Roman calendar. And this calendar was invented by Greek scholars and Caesar's commanded. It went to the effect 45 BC and it was used for more than 1600 years before Gregorian calendar. They also didn't have this, agreement between, so they gone creating new calendars uh, based on their differences and which created havoc in the entire calendar system. So till date, we don't have a perfect calendar among these all, Christian based calendars, because we have this Julian calendar, Roman calendar, Gregorian calendar, but none is perfect to the time and date. And today is also Organize Your Home Day. Basically, as I said, all have been these kinds of commemorations. If you just go back to the roots, we all have with the same, this Sanatana Dharma ancient, where based on these festivals only, they just like they are making a old wine in a new bottle. The presentation is different, but basically, all these somewhere we link back because we all have similar thought process that keep us driving, and we cannot deviate so easily because it's in our blood, it's in our DNA. So we, especially the ones who are creating new belief systems or new religions, they are adjusting or adapting or creating a new way of celebrating same thing, so that they feel that they are doing it in a different way, and it is not related to any way related to earlier things. So Organize Your Home Day is something like that to get rid of old things. It is more of like bogey only, where we discard all the old items, and similar way this is also a kind of commemoration they also brought in the West, like Organize Your Home Day, where it is a time to take stock of all the clutter that has been accumulating in your house, donate whatever you can, or responsibly discard what you can't, and plan to make your home cleaner, spacious, more beautiful. Basically, it's all about housekeeping and house management or home management, whatever it is. And today is also Novi God, Russian New Year. And as already mentioned, these New Year dates have changed many times because of the stupidity of, these people who keep on inventing calendars by neglecting our good old ancient calendar, which is still, we use these traditional calendars, which are very much scientific. But, because of these various calendars like Julian, Gregorian, Roman, and all these nonsense, lot of chaos has been created in these dates and days. So it keeps changing each calendar, and everyone had their own calendar. Like everyone made their own recipe in their kitchen. Everyone tried to mess up with this time and date, and everyone created their own calendars. And so even these dates also kept changing over centuries many times. Lot of confusion, lot of chaos has happened. But those days and these days, it's a chance for Russians to celebrate twice a year. That's not only the strange situation. Russians celebrate their New Year and like with Christmas likes traditions. In fact, these all are not known properly. That's why many people think, they are first of all not aware of all these facts. So they have very less information because no one wants to, promote their own flaws, but are very much interested in promoting the or creating a different kind. Because at the end of the day, if the people know about all these things, again they will lose their respect or faith in all of these things, and they are never taught in the schools or colleges or universities. What is that's why we call, it's all biased education, and entire models are now with vested interests. And so the modern education has lost its true essence of education. Anyway, that's a different topic altogether. So finally, there are various, that is a big story. I don't want to tell again, these all calendars will come. How the dates, why so many dates have changed over centuries, and why each calendar, with creation of each calendars, how different dates emerge and all these things. We'll not get into those things. So finally, you know, I will give it in a very short briefing. So ancient Russians celebrated on March 1st in 988 year. The Byzantine Empire introduced Russia to Christianity, and the Byzantines used a calendar called Creation Era of Constantinople. And this calendar started from the day they believed that the world was created according to the Greek Old Testament, Septuagint, over 5,500 years before the birth of Jesus. However, the Byzantines changed the date to September 1st. And this is because it was believed that the Antichrist would descend on September 1st, 1492, while Russia adopted the Gregorian calendar in 1918. The Russian Orthodox Church still uses the Julian calendar. In 1699, Peter the Great declared that the new year will be celebrated the European way, as Russians taking time off in September, a working month in Europe, lost too much money. So when Russia adopted the Gregorian calendar, there was discrepancy of 13 days. We earlier also discussed, some days simply vanished from the calendars. Even today, all these calendars have a lot of, irregularities, or not truly scientific, does not truly measure time to the accurate, to the second. There are a lot of changes that anyway will not get into all those things. And when Russia adopted this Gregorian calendar, there was discrepancy of 13 days. So some Russians celebrated on January 1st, while others celebrated on January 14th. So this change now means that even those with a preference get to celebrate twice. So all that chaos that has been created with these different calendars. So that's how today has become Russian New Year. So today is also New Vision Board Day, to encourage us to set our goals visually and help us to reimagine and achieve goals in every area of life by effectively visualizing them to life. As it is based on seeing is believing, in the sense that if we can imagine, picture something, we can move out our lives towards the goal. And in US, it is also National Dress Up Your Pet Day. And celebrate by dressing up your furry family member in comfortable pet clothing, maybe even matching outfits if you want to get crazy. So that, as if it was a normal day and people would be staring at your dog in the street. And it is also encouraged. Actually, this day was started by celebrity pet lifestyle expert and animal behaviorist Colin Peck, and it celebrates and helps to support pets fashion community. As I already mentioned, these all commemorations are based basically to promote business. Of course, but at the same time, you can have one day dedicated to your favorite pets and decorate them. And various pet fashion shows are also organized. Nowadays, these are also becoming popular across the world. And today is also Cesarean Section Day in US. Which is also called as C-section or cesarean section, is a procedure in which baby is operated out of mother's womb by making an incision in the abdomen instead of normal vaginal delivery, which is through vaginal canal. Cesarean Day was first created to the credit of first successful cesarean section delivery performed by Dr. Janice Bennett in 1794 in the West. And this day is dedicated to the people born through C-section and also to the medical marvel that helped many mothers give birth without any complications. So the story behind the first C-section performed is an interesting one. The year 1794, Elizabeth, the wife of American physician Dr. Janice Bennett, was in labor, and Dr. Humphrey and Jesse himself were the only two doctors to attend to her. Elizabeth had been in labor for several hours, and the delivery became riskier as the time went on. The doctors realized that C-section was the only option they had, And there was a time when the C-section had never been performed. And Dr. Humphrey was skeptical about this. He believed that carrying a C-section delivery meant certain death of the mother and the child. An argument followed between the two, and Dr. Humphrey left Dr. Jesse Bennett's house. So Dr. Jesse, Elizabeth, and a few maids and domestic help were the only few people left in the house, with a daunting challenge staring at them. Dr. Jesse mustered the courage and decided to perform C-section himself. He did not have proper medical apparatus and equipment at home to perform the delivery and had homemade instruments only. He quickly assembled planks supported by barrels to make the operation table. A candle was lit to serve as a guiding light, and laudanum, which is a tincture of opium, was used as anesthetic. The operation began. Dr. Jesse confidently made a precise cut on his wife and cut open her abdomen. He then removed his daughter from her mother's womb and cut off the umbilical cord. And it is said that Dr. Jesse then proceeded to take out Elizabeth's ovaries, justifying that he didn't want to have such an experience again. Miraculously, both the mother and the child survived, and the daughter was named Maria. So it is believed that Dr. Jesse never disclosed the details of crude C-section performed in his barn. He felt that no one would believe him, or worse, they would call him a liar. So it was much later, after Dr. Jesse's death, that Dr. A.L. Knight, who was a young boy when Dr. Jesse performed the C-section, assembled eyewitness of the C-section delivery and made a detailed report of the incident. And thus the world came to know about the story of bravery shown by both Elizabeth and her husband in times of crisis. And Caesarean Section Day was created to honor this legendary couple and celebrate the advancement in the medical history that helps save millions of mothers and infants every year. So this is documented in the West. That's how this commemoration was done. And it also became a painless or a less painful delivery, as it is not at all painful. And it is a misconception that C-section is painful because general anesthesia is not administered and the woman is awake from the waist up. Depending on the type of incision made, the cesarean section is normally of two types. One is classical cut, which is a vertical cut across the abdomen, and the bikini cut, which is horizontal cut. Though there are shreds of evidence suggesting that babies born through C-section has higher IQ, however, these claims are debatable and not cut and dried, as the IQ of a person may depend on the environment of upbringing and other factors also, nature versus nurture. And generally, the incision which is made for a C-section is usually around 4 inches in length, so 4-inch cut. And regional anesthesia may be administered. General or complete anesthesia might not be given to the mother during a C-section delivery. Only in rare cases it is administered. Most of the time it is not. Most of the time it is only regional anesthesia, but not complete anesthesia. And it is also a myth that the term Caesarean section became popular because of Roman Emperor Julius Caesar was born that way. It's a myth. There is no evidence. And Inez Ramirez Pervez performed a C-section on herself and delivered her son. who was later named as Orlando Ruiz. So a mother who has performed a C-section on herself. And there are also various associated beliefs in Judaism on her born through C-section might not be considered eligible for Jewish ritual for the firstborn. So this day makes us realize the advancements medical science has made and now the impact it has on society. Many illnesses that were fatal in ancient times are now curable. It allows us to appreciate medical science and its progress. And this day is also a day of learning, and it gives us an opportunity to learn more about the lives of genius, and it gives us a chance to know more about life and times of people, to draw an inspiration from their lives. So with this, we shall end the commemoration for the day. And due to some issue, we couldn't take up the session by Professor Ronald today. We'll be rescheduling this session to some other day. We will let you know. You can keep watching our social media handles and groups. So once again, we wish you happy Bogi, happy Sankranti, happy Kanuma, and happy festival to all of you. So see you tomorrow for the international conference. The feedback form has been raised in the form of poll. We request everyone to quickly fill up the form. And tomorrow conference is basically, you can choose any festival and you can talk on or present on any festivals. Apart from other themes, we have theme of celebrations, festivals, how festivals are, contributing to health, well-being, sustainable development, economy. You can talk about that and how best we can make festivals more nature-friendly, eco-friendly, and how they can more productively contribute to overall well-being. So you can choose, you can share with your friends and colleagues. The links has been already shared in the WhatsApp group, on Facebook, and various platforms. You can register. And if interested, you can also present. You can invite your friends to present. It can be anywhere between 3 minutes, 5 minutes, based on the preparation you have made. You can contact us, let us know so that we can schedule your session accordingly. So see you all tomorrow. Once again, happy festival to all of you. Take care. Good night.